with that. Just want to let you know. Good evening. I'd like to take this time to call to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Redevelopment Commission tonight, our February meeting. And, perfect, we got it back up. Can I get you, our Executive Director, to give us a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Sharon Bryant.
Here.
Jimmy Dillahunt.
Here.
Sarah Proctor. Leander Morgan. Steve Strickland.
Here.
Julius Parham.
Here.
Kip Peregrine.
Here.
Beth Walker.
Here.
Barry Wallace. Rick Prill. Barbara Best. Hazel Royal. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Let's look in our packets. Appreciate you putting this all together for us tonight. In our packets, we have our mission and our guiding principles. So I'm going to start by reading the mission tonight and then let everybody chime in with the guiding principles. The New Bern Redevelopment Commission, leading the way for community transformation and improvement by directly addressing community needs in the vital areas of public health, infrastructure, housing, and economic development. The Commission is committed to an accountable, transparent, and publicly driven process.
Past, present, future.
Respect others' opinions.
Listen to build consensus.
Share accurate information, public perception.
They focus, be organic.
Everybody together?
Believe.
Thank you. The first item on our agenda is to approve the agenda.
So move, Madam Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, and we have approved our agenda for the evening. The next thing we need to do is consider approving the minutes. We have both our December meeting and our January meeting, which was our work session retreat. So, hope you've had a time to go through that, and if there's any changes you think need to be made, let us know. Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes. Welcome, Commissioner Wallace.
He needs to be charged $10 for being late.
Are there any concerns with the meeting minutes, or do I have a motion to approve them?
So move.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes for December and January. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed? Motion carries, and we will approve the minutes for December and January's meeting. Our next agenda item is public comment, and I see no public in attendance. So we will go on to the new business of the evening. And that new business, let me get to that introduction for you. We just saw in our meeting minutes probably, or when you were reviewing them in our December meeting, the Commission approved an amendment for the subrecipient agreement with the city's CDBG program. And per that agreement, 911 Eubanks was to be sold through the sealed bid process. So we must notice the sale for no less than 30 days. So we need to advertise that property for no less than 30 days. And the earliest date that the notice can be published is Saturday, February 15th. The earliest the bid period can end is Monday, March 17th. And the next regular meeting date after the closing of the bid period will be our April 9th meeting, which at that time, the Commission may accept the highest bid or reject all bids. So we've discussed this item a lot. But I welcome any new thoughts or concerns you might have, but what we need to do tonight is perhaps consider starting the sealed bid process as soon as possible, which is the February 15th date. Do you have anything that I cover that well? Do you want to
No,
add
ma'am,
something?
you did a wonderful job. The only thing that I would add is there is a resolution before you in your packet. In adopting that resolution, you would initiate the sealed bid process, which would trigger all of the things that Madam Chair just enumerated.
Is that a,
Go ahead.
is that a motion or something? Is that what it is?
Yes, you.
Resolution. And I should say, also in your packet, I was just saying, it's not in front of me because I didn't want to print it out, but in your packet, you were given the appraisal that was done on the property. And also, I think the insurance document for that was in your packet? Or is that for other properties as well?
That's for all of the
All of
vacant
the properties, okay.
properties, correct.
Which that falls in. But it was very interesting to look through that appraisal. I hope you took the time to do that. But that being said, the resolution tonight is just to initiate that the sealed bid process. Yes.
Not directly related to the motion, or to the agenda item itself directly, but just to ask the question, I think I heard some mention of there being some fencing or some other things that have been done that have been in question around that property. Have those been resolved, or are we going to have to deal with that on the back end?
Yeah, actually, thanks to the assistance of city staff, we were able to contact the neighbor, and the neighbor was very amenable to removing the cars that were parked on the 911 Eubanks project, and we were able to get the dumping cleaned up as well, and we're working on the fence issue, but they will be solved.
Okay, perfect.
Good catch, Mr. Strickland.
And it looked
Right
like
over.
you were also, you had a concern?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay,
That was it, Steve.
Okay,
brought it.
perfect.
You do recall that we had that property surveyed before we ever moved the house over there. The property owners still around anywhere that can, for future reference for the homeowner, in case any other issues come up?
The survey that we had done when we moved the house there?
Yeah.
Yeah, all that documentation is held at my office. I'll be happy to share it with anybody. It's public information.
Okay, that was for physical property
Survey.
owners out on the property so that everybody knows where the corners are.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still there? Does anybody know where they are?
Oh, yeah, they're there and very visible,
Okay.
which is why it wasn't contested when we said
It
something.
wasn't hard to get it.
Okay. Well, and you had the privilege of looking at the photographs in the appraisal of all the rooms inside the house. It looks nice.
It's nice. It's
ready
all
to go.
new. It's nice. Straight. It's all new.
Like I said, I didn't anticipate there'd be any concerns, but I just want to make sure we didn't have anything else. And I guess the next step would be to make a motion to
Accept the
adopt the
resolution.
resolution.
I make the motion to adopt the resolution. As stated.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second, and that is the motion to initiate the
Sealed bid process
Right.
for 911 Eubanks,
Right.
at the earliest possible date.
which is right now.
Okay.
Yeah, 18th through the 17th. You better go ahead and move.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Not trying to belabor it, any more discussion? Everything's good? Can we just do an all in favor, or do we need to do a voice vote?
Voice vote is fine, Madam Chair.
Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries, and we will initiate the sealed bid process for 911 Eubanks. That is our only new business for the evening. Old business?
Look, Madam Chair.
Yep.
There were, somewhere in the packet, there was some information about we have the opportunity to consider outside marketing versus this regular internal in the newspaper. I didn't know if the board might want to think about that so that we can broaden the market, the sphere of the market for buying that house
The reach?
beyond what normally might be done, or if the executive director already has plans to facilitate that. But I think that's going to be an important thing. The other thing that concerns me is when you read some of this stuff, it says that the person that buys the house is responsible for that 20-year lien. that's there to make sure that they understand that, you know, that they don't have to pay out the money for that, and so that there's a clear understanding that that doesn't scare away any potential buyers.
Yeah.
I can speak to both of those items, Madam Chair, if you'd like.
Please.
Part of our working relationship and understanding with CDBG staff is that we would do some extra marketing with this particular project, and so the project group actually suggested that we use the city website, that we use Zillow as a for sale by owner, which I've been researching and will be a great asset on top of the newspaper, and we'll use some social media marketing as well, so that news will get around and it will circulate. The other item that you made mention of, which would be the secondary lien, which, just to review in the spirit of full disclosure, the reason for the appraisal was to set market value for the property, and so the delta between the highest bid and market rate will be the amount of that second lien, and that will be there. That will be there as a second placeholder for a period of 20 years to ensure that this property is always used, at least for the next 20 years, for housing a low to moderate income individual or family. All of that will be monitored and administered by CDBG staff, and so as a part of the sealed bid process that we've put together, they'll actually be one of the restrictions is you have to be a low to moderate income individual, and so you'll have to get they will have to go through DEASIA's office to make sure that they qualify as a low to moderate individual, and DEASIA will go through the monitoring process with them, and the second lien will be, the education around the second lien will be given at that time.
Okay.
Additionally, Mr. Paragoy, in the published notice that will go out into the newspaper, we have to disclose, obviously, that there will be a secondary lien on the property because that's a material term. We're couching that as a forgivable lien so that people will understand that it's not necessarily you got to bring a bag of cash to satisfy that delta.
Right.
So hopefully that will help
That's my concern.
helping people as they're assessing whether they're interested. That won't scare them away.
Mm-hmm. Now, refresh my memory that the person has to stay there, right? It's not a buy and then rent to somebody else. The person buying this has to. So
Maintain.
That's So putting it on Zillow, you can't say that. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to put it into fine print for somebody to understand that. So that's kind of why we were doing the direct, because it has so many attachments to it. When you put it on Zillow, I'm a person, I might want to buy it and then rent it to somebody. Can't do that. You have to stay there.
Right.
The purchaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Very
Could it be as simple as putting a for sale sign out in front of them for that 30-day period too, and from a marketing perspective?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
The more people you get to see it, the quicker it might go. Yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to direct staff to put a for sale sign out?
Direction has been received.
Say what now?
I said direction's been received.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. And we do appreciate that you're doing, looking into Zillow and those things and putting the sign out. I know you'll be a available resource for people as they have questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Now on to the old business, which is really updates on both the West A Street property that is still being surveyed or still working on the survey lines. It's not being surveyed, but working on getting that survey completed. And then the Bloomfield project, which Unshakable Builders is working on. So do you have updates you want to give to us? Or does anybody?
Really, there's no material update for either of the projects except that we're plodding along. We're working with, as you stated, Madam Chair, we're working with the surveyors to work through some legalities, and Madam Attorney is helping out tons. As far as Bloomfield goes, I did want to let everyone know that the Unshakable Builders is approaching the place where they're ready to pull permits, and so they are right on schedule. They're looking. Their surveyors and their surveyors were out measuring the sites earlier in the month, and the actual measurements, as is everywhere in New Bern, the actual sites are a little bit different than what the tax map says, and so they're working around troubleshooting those issues, but that shouldn't hinder their schedule at all. So really excited to see that project come together. I know it's not in your agenda item, but also the hospital is moving forward with the health and wellness clinic as well. We anticipate we anticipate seeing some movement and some dirt move late in February, early in March. So
excellent.
Really excited about those projects. And just as a matter of pride, if you take a ride down Bern Street and visit the old 808 and 810 parcels, you will note that they are no longer vacant, wonky, vacant parcels that have debris on it. Instead, a gigantic, wonderfully built home is there, and they should be getting their certificate of occupancy pretty quickly.
I never seen. I mean, they did the foundation, they did concrete floor, they let it sit for 2 weeks.
Let it sit.
And next thing you know, the house is up. Wow.
Good.
But, I mean, you got good help, good weather, money. I mean, it can go that way. But this guy had a bunch of help.
Yeah.
It's family type thing. All those guys came in and helped him, and it's a big house.
Yeah. So, I mean, just as a symbol of why we do what we do as a redevelopment commission, I just encourage all of you to take a ride down Bern Street. It's a cool project.
Excellent. Thank you.
Are you seeing it too, Jim?
A small favor.
You saw it, Jimmy?
Can you research and tell me what's going to happen in the 700 block? I thought I saw somebody at a survey the other day. It's a lot that backs up to the police department.
Oh, yeah. I'll follow up with
I need
you.
to find, because someone had mentioned something about a parking lot. And I don't think that's not going to work on Bern Street. A parking lot for the police department on the residential side. That's in between the yellow house and the garden alley there.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you offline on that and
Please find
and
that
give you
out.
some information. Sure.
That's another nice piece that you could get right to build something on. Thank you.
Thank you for the updates. Anybody else have them? Well, right back to you for the staff report.
I sort of feel like I gave a staff report already.
I know.
You gave half of it, so.
So I think I really did cover
You gave
my
half
staff
of it.
report.
I know, you did.
Outside of two items. First, your finance report is included in your packet. Our fund balance is sitting right at $836,711.02. That is after the Bloomfield project closed out, and also the Walt Bellamy sale closed out. So, as discussed in our retreat meeting, I have put the request for $233,000 of that to be moved to the appropriation for the 2025-26 budget as proposed, and so the alderman will ultimately approve or amend that. But per our last meeting, I've asked for that appropriation. And just as a matter of feedback for you all, if we decide that $233,000 doesn't need to be used in 2025-26, we can put that back with an amendment, and if we need more, we can make a budget amendment as well. So that's just based on the projections that we discussed during the retreat. And then just wanted to also let you all know that I have changed our property insurance policy to reflect the parcels that we have sold and the parcels that we now carry with a building on them. And so Eubanks is currently the only one that we carry with a building on it. And as of April, I hope to be able to call them and say, take that off. So,
Excellent.
that concludes my staff report unless there are any questions.
Any questions for the executive director? All right. We do not have a reason to go into closed session tonight, is my understanding.
No, ma'am.
Did you say no, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I thought you were interrupting me. I'm like, oh, no, okay. So, if I will let anybody have a chance to add anything or bring up anything that you would like our commission to know before we adjourn. If there's anything on your mind?
Oh, this is anything? I didn't know what you did.
Well,
First time that happened. Well, I got an announcement. Be on a nationally syndicated show from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Principal Cathele, he's the #1 principal in the nation, and I am. North Carolina's going to be in the house. I'm just going to tell you.
Nice.
So, you're not doing anything Saturday night, do you? It'll be on my web. I'm going to be on my face. I'm going to send a link out for your Facebook. Just letting y'all know that's kind of a big deal.
it is. We'll send it to your fellow commissioners so we can tune in.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if there's no further business or concerns, I'd get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
So what should it be?